Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Draw Your Sword, an actual play D&D podcast played with comic artists and writers. I'm Sandy, the Dungeon Master, and joining me...
I'm Harry, I play Emlyn the Halfling Rogue.
Hi, I'm Holly, I play Veda, the Fire Genasi Bard.
Hi, I'm Lily, I play Fig the Dead. Rest in peace.
Rest in peas, did you say?
Yes!
Yikes.
No, it's no time for jokes. It's very tense.
Last time, we had such like a nice, relaxing session where Veda had a nice performance in front of all their new friends, and Emlyn was mysteriously away for some unbeknownst reason. Fig enjoyed the rain. We had a nice little shopping episode.
Pretty chill time, yeah, shopping episode.
You had a bit.
Nothing much happened.
You had a nice muffins in the bathhouse. That was good. Trying to get your forms for Fig to say that he's a legitimate person, so that he's
quote unquote.
Yeah, so he's got his papers now. But Alexander, the captain of the guard, decided to give you one of the last job of those bandits that you were seeking before the red man came up again. So wanting to ensure that all your loose ends were tied, you decided to go onto it. Some people were a bit suspicious of why Alexander was choosing you, but he said you were heroes and he would like to learn from you. Once defeating some bandits, you descended into a chamber, seeing this very strange demon-like prince with people begging towards him and not hitting a couple of traps. You tried to look a bit closer into this area to find this red man, which is not here. And Alexander betraying you, locking you inside this chapel-like room with pews everywhere, launching a fireball at your feet, exploding all around you, and Fig now unconscious on the floor as the whole room begins to collapse around you. It's like probably a 60 by 80 foot room. You kind of were walking down a tunnel that had caved in at this point. The smoke is all clearing around you. Alexander begins to make his escape. You're all now gasping for air as you're trying to clear out the smoke, trying to see the aftermath, hoping that your friends are okay. You see now, as the air clears, that the room is sealed, and Fig begins sliding down a hole in the floor. What would everyone like to do?
Stop sliding down the hole, please.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that we'd... Fig is out, right?
Fig is unconscious, and you see him slipping, but as you're trying to ensure that he's not falling, he's just kind of like hanging over this massive pit in the floor where you can just see the boulders like crumbling down towards it.
Oh my god. Okay, I mean, we're going. We want to grab him.
Okay.
If possible, Emlyn wants to feed Fig a healing potion.
Okay. So
full of guilt, wants to feed Fig their only healing potion.
Okay. You run over towards him, and as you approach, you notice that his left hand and most of his forearm is stuck under one of these rocks, and that's the only reason he's not slipping down.
If it's going to start being like strength checks, I feel like we're not the right characters.
Well, I am, but I'm unconscious.
No, I mean us to get you up. Can I feed Fig a healing potion?
You can run up to him and give him the healing potion.
Yes, I do that.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Well, this is happening. When we got shut in, is it like a rock wall?
Yeah, like there was stairs descending down to this area. Mm-hmm. He threw down this iron gate, but now what has left of that is just collapsed inwards, and there was the area he was. There is now no sight to get out of that area.
Right, so it's just like completely blocked behind us where we came from.
Yeah, pretty much. It's all just collapsed in itself.
Just so I can picture it.
Yeah, it's fine.
So it's like it's like a big chapel space, but it's like a completely enclosed room. There's no doors around the sides or anything.
Yeah.
The only way was in, and that's sealed off now.
Yeah, and the way you were heading, that had collapsed probably years ago as well. And there's now this probably 20-foot radius hole in the middle where rocks have now slammed through, and Fig hanging over the edge as one of the kind of pillars has slammed onto his arm. As you kind of run over, give him a healing potion. You want to roll that?
9.
So you heal 9. Fig, as you awaken, you just kind of look down, and it's a big drop. You try to kind of lift yourself up as you just notice your hand is kind of like stuck under this rock.
So am I hanging by like my arm over the edge? Like am I fully over the edge?
Yeah,
Just my
pretty much.
arm isn't?
Yeah, I'd say like you're probably your top torso is over solid ground, and the bottom half of you is hanging over.
Ah! What's happened? Why is there a hole in my arm? Fuck! Ah! I'm gonna try pull myself back up.
I mean, Emily can try and
Okay.
assist, but I feel like basically what's happening is they're sort of like very flimsily
Yeah.
like tugging. I think they're a little bit like shaky.
Veda, what are you doing while this is going on?
Being very, very angry.
Okay.
Does she shout after Alexander at all, or is she just like quiet rage?
I mean, I feel like she would if like she could see where he was, but if we can't see anything,
Yeah,
then...
yeah.
If she could see where he was, I was gonna cast heat metal on his armor.
Yeah. As you're kind of like preparing the spell, as all the rubble and dust kind of kicked up, after the flames died down, you just lose sight of him. But you're just kind of like staring in the direction that he was. Fig, you want to...
I'm gonna pull myself up over again and then try and get like a better position to push the boulder off.
With your other hand, you pull yourself more securely up.
I'm
You-
going to put my hand against the boulder and cast guidance on myself.
Okay.
So where I put my hand, just a bunch of flowers and stuff start going around it. So I'll make a strength check.
Yep.
Disadvantage or?
No, because Emlyn's helping you.
Okay. Ooh, 10.
Plus your d4.
Ooh, 12.
Again, Emlyn's trying to help you, but like, are they really? They're very small.
As you get up, Fig, with your hand trapped under, you and Emlyn start pushing, and it's budging, and then it just crumbles beneath your feet. I need you both to make dexterity saving throws. Fig at disadvantage.
Oh no, I just lived for a moment there. Goodbye, sweet boy. Oh, 6.
It's a 22.
Okay.
Aye.
As you kind of like throw it off, you feel the ground beneath you start crumbling as you just immediately jump back. As you see Fig, eyes closed, still pushing it, as he just falls off with the rock.
Is there anything that might help me?
As that has happened, Emlyn, you just see Fig tumble over the edge,
And then
Gandalf style.
Flips up out of danger as Fig just like plummets.
Yeah.
He's had a bad day.
Yeah, they are panicking. Can they see anything down? Can they see the bottom?
Okay. As you rush back over to the edge and peek down, Fig, how are you stopping yourself from falling this? As you peer over Emlyn, maybe 60, 70 foot drop, and you see different chambers all down at the bottom of this, now just piles of rocks, all jagged and broken at the bottom of this.
Oh god, I'm so panicking. How far away am I from the wall?
Not that far, because you just
Okay.
tumbled over.
Okay, but my arm is free now, technically.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna turn into a giant wolf spider,
Okay.
and I am going to jump towards the wall off of the. I'm gonna like crawl up the boulder and then jump off onto the wall
Okay. Make a acrobatics check.
with the spider's acrobatics.
Yes.
It'd be the spider's dex.
10.
Oh fuck, a 10! Oh.
Okay.
Shit.
As you're kind of like, as you're tumbling over, and then you're peering over the side, you see Fig transform into this giant spider, clinging to the now falling debris as it jumps off and sticks to the wall. As it's kind of like still sliding down, it takes you a couple of minutes to stop Fig, you taking a d10 of friction damage as you're just like sliding across the wall, not really used to your form. Your hands kind of, all your little legs begin to burn a little bit.
Okay, I stop, and I'm okay.
Are there still like rocks falling from the ceiling, or is it like a bit of a tremor and now it's kind of settled down?
It's settled
just
down
a
now, yeah.
hole?
I'm guessing like Veda probably heard all this commotion and like
Oh,
ran
for sure.
over and is like next to Emlyn now.
Yeah. So you're now just peering down and you see this giant spider clinging to the wall.
Veda's gonna cast message down at Fig so he can actually respond and be like, Fig, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. I'll come back up. Then we're gonna start making my way back up to them.
Okay. A couple of moments pass and you're back up to the top. It's a spider.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay as a spider.
If Emlyn is like looking around, does Vader look hurt?
Vader seems pretty unscathed from just getting a firebolt to the face.
Yeah, Veda's fine. That fireball didn't really bother her very much.
I feel like Emlyn is panting, and it takes him maybe like a wee while to say anything.
What's everyone thinking or wanting to do while you're having this like little break with this giant hole in the middle of this room?
I think we should rest here for a moment
He
and think about
fucked
what
us
to do.
over. Every single person on this whole continent, everyone on the mainland I've ever met has some kind of sneaky extra motive, or every time it seems like something is simple, they, or someone at least, I think I know what they're about, they just turn around and fuck me over. Everyone apart from you two.
I'm gonna pop out with my spider form. Is this just like what people do here?
Sometimes.
But why? What did we do to him that made him so angry at us? I thought we were
probably.
helping people.
I don't think he cares about helping people.
Here, that's the other thing. We were actually helping people. In this case, I was doing good things. It just feels like there's no point in trying. Emma's grumpy. They've like shuffled over to lean up against something and scowling and like trying to brush off, like, I guess like trying to brush off rock dust. We all like went to the baths, right?
Yeah, you're now just all covered in
And
soot.
now we're like covered, and I feel like Emlyn is like frantically trying to like brushing at their jumper and stuff to try and get rock dust off it, but it's just like not making any difference at all. And they just kind of like go off and rest on their own.
If you guys want to roll hit dice, I'm gonna do Song of Rest.
Yeah, that would be great, thank you.
I rolled a 6, so you all get 6 extra hit points.
Oh, cool. Oh, I got 10.
So Veda's back up to full health.
So is Fig. Fig's just kind of like curled up in a ball.
So as you guys are taking a minute to brood now in this large chamber with a giant hole in it that descends close to 100 feet.
Well, when everyone's done resting, is there anything, you said it was like a big, almost like, is it a chapel like space in terms of like, it kind of has like pews or decorations, or is it just that kind of size?
It did have pews. There
Is
was
it all like completely ruined? I guess
Pretty
basically
much.
like, if Emlyn kind of like scrabbled around trying to find anything out about what the room was.
from when you were walking around here, there wasn't like any symbolage other than the fact that there were pews and there were a place for someone to give sermons at the top, but now that's all collapsed inwards.
Okay.
So there's not, other than that statue and the previous chamber, there's nothing to suggest that this was originally a chapel.
It like carved out room, or is it like
No, it's
cave that's
carved.
been repurposed?
No,
Okay.
it's carved. It looks like some sort of fortress of some kind. Probably was repurposed as a chapel. The pews that were around looked newer and were probably taken in here.
So the room that we're in,
Yeah.
the only way out of it is down the hole that Fig fell down.
Pretty much.
And it's a 100-foot drop, you say?
Roughly.
Fantastic.
Is it dark in here, by the way? Is there lights, or is it like pitch black?
It's pretty dark. There was some torches lit in here, so it's light, but as you look down the hole, it's pitch black.
How do we know that if you go down that hole, there's even a way out?
Well, how about we attach a lantern to the end of a piece of rope and lower it down? I mean, there's not a way out in this room.
Can I see if I could, like, move the rubble from the door? Or is it too...
Yeah, it's not the fact that there's rubble there, it's the fact that the ground above has caved in. So that all the earth and stuff is piled on top of a bunch of rocks.
Veda's gonna go up to like the edge of the hole and cast Produce Flame, make a little flame, and then drop it.
As it descends a number of ways and it hits the bottom, as you can
Do
just
you
see
see
it all.
anything down there?
Probably not from this height. You can see a bunch of broken rocks at the bottom.
But does it look? I mean, it doesn't just look like a pit. It looks like there's
No, it looks like
more
if you
rooms
kind
down
of
there.
drilled a hole through a multi-story building, you can see
Yeah,
edges
okay.
of floors and rooms all the way down.
There might not be a way out down there, but there definitely isn't one up here, so I don't think we have much of a choice.
No, it's
Sure.
not looking good, is it?
Do you still want to send a lantern down on the end of the rope, just in case people who can't just sort of make fire out of their hands?
I could maybe turn into a spider, climb down, and then produce flame down there so we can see.
Sure. I mean, like Emlyn has a lantern.
If you've got one, I mean, that would be great. We can do that.
I mean, you can turn into a spider if you want to, but I don't know if you want to kind of save your juice. We are super weak. So I don't know if there's like a big boulder we can definitely tie the rope to at the top. But if someone's going to be helping to hold the rope at the top or helping to tie it, maybe it should be fitting.
I can do that.
Is there anything like is there a big boulder that we can tie rope around if we tie all of our rope together?
Make an intelligence check.
Oh no.
It's a natural one.
Yeah, there's plenty of rocks to tie
Cool.
the rope to.
I feel like Emlyn is like, well, just so if you all give me the rope, we'll just tie it around here.
If Emlyn goes up to this rock and starts tying it, can I tell if this rock is suitable or they've just kind of picked one that looks okay?
Make
Thing
an
survival.
intelligence check if it looks good.
Can it not be wisdom/survival? This is to survive.
Sure.
A 20.
It looks like if someone tied a rope around this kind of, big boulder, the boulder's not like sat down on anything and would probably just fall.
Emlyn is already tying the rope around it.
Yeah.
They're
Hey,
very
wait.
confident.
Wait, Emlyn. I don't think that's a very good boulder to use.
Are there any others, or did Emlyn just use it because it's the only one?
No, there are other ones. You could probably jerry rig something, but
From
Well,
that
do you
roll,
wanna-
could I tell what one's a good one?
yeah, I would say like there's probably a number of rocks, and you go a bit further into the back of the room, and you see that there's a pillar that's been pretty sturdy, and you kind of like push it a couple of times so you can kind of like kick it with your strength, make sure that will hold. It seems to be steady. With the other one, you could like rock it with your weight.
I think
mean-
we should have done this.
Is it a long way from the hole?
Not massively, probably like 5 or 10 feet.
Okay, so it's not going to shorten it loads.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, fine. If you want to tie it around something else or hold it or something.
I'll tie it
Fine.
round, and I can keep an eye on it up here till you guys get down there.
Well, here you could always untie it and then spider it down.
Yeah, I can do that, so we don't lose our ropes. Better safe than sorry. Hand me the rope.
Right. We tie the rope
Okay.
Yep.
together.
Make a survival check. See how good
Best
it is.
friends. John, me too. John, do you want to assist me?
No, I feel like Emlyn is like slightly put out after the boulder that they were tying stuff around. They immediately noticed like definitely would have just fallen into the hole, and so now they're a bit like letting Fig take the lead.
Natural 20.
Yeah, this is a taut rope, and you're pretty confident that it will not snap or anything.
Think we're good to go.
All right. I think I do want to tie the wheel lantern on the end, so that it's definitely light when we get down there.
Okay, so as you kind of tie the lantern onto the edge, it's got like a little ring on the top of it, and you slowly lower it down, and it seems to hit the ground before the entire rope ran out, and it seems to have about 15-20 foot left of rope that you can throw down. But this perspective made it look a lot deeper than it was.
But from like super far away, we don't see any movement or nothing. It's just like another room.
Make a general perception check, I would say.
Oh no. It's a 5.
Yeah,
It's very in character.
yeah, as you kind of just look down, you don't see anyone on the sides. It seems to be pretty quiet, just in general.
Looks totally fine, guys.
Okay. You guys make your
Um,
way down and I'll hold the rope. Make sure.
Yeah.
we get
Emlyn
it
is confident there's nothing down there and they're ready to go first. Unless Vega wants to intervene.
Yes, Not bothered either way.
I think Emlyn goes on first because they can also, I guess they can like hide at the bottom.
Okay. So how staggered are you going? I should ask.
How staggered?
Yeah, like, is it like both of you at the exact same time? Or
Oh
is
god, no! I feel like I assume, I assumed that we were gonna wait until Emlyn got to the bottom of the rope. But
Okay.
like, if Vader has different ideas, I guess
Yeah, I
we'll
think
find
Vader
out.
will probably wait.
Okay. Just
Rather
make sure
than-
like
If
you're
I
not.
start getting horribly attacked halfway down, we can maybe change
Yeah,
the plan.
yeah.
Okay. So how is Emlyn descending? Are they kind of like rappelling, or are they just holding onto the rope and?
Ooh, good point. I don't know. I think that maybe Emlyn knows how to do this.
Okay.
I think that maybe it might be job relevant.
That's true. Yeah. With your
So I feel like
your feet and stuff, you can easily do it.
Emlyn like starts out a little shaky, but then seems to be like strangely confident.
Yeah. Takes the right pose and everything before descending down. Tie the rope around your waist, grab the other side, and just start rappelling down, and seem to quite happily get to the bottom without issue. As a couple of minutes pass as you're descending, as you hit different sections of this whole underground dungeon, you see that all the other rooms descending down are all collapsed. You see old furniture just kind of like lying there. Because you've got the lantern on the edge, you can kind of,
Oh sure, maybe it's like on their belt kind of thing,
Yeah.
and they're kind of like looking as we go down.
as you're kind of just like peering in, it just seems to be old, ruined, but there doesn't seem to be any movement or sound of anything. As you hit the bottom, you kind of look around, and this whole place down here is all caved in as well.
Like completely caved in. There were no rooms. There's no way through.
You'd have to make a investigation check.
Okay, but it's not like immediately obvious that it's completely
No.
closed off.
Yeah, so like there's no light down here apart from your lantern, and you can see where all the rocks have fallen around you, and it does look like it was a chamber at some point. There's not immediate, oh, there's a door to walk through.
Alright, I guess Emlyn unties from the bottom of the rope, and I guess maybe, I don't know if they're too far to see, but they kind of like try and give a thumbs up to Vader, but they put the little cover on the lantern
Okay.
to like cover the light so it's just in one direction, and maybe they try and like have a wee look around at the bottom.
So, Veda, as you descend, can I make you make an acrobatics or athletics check on the way down?
I'm gonna go acrobatics.
Okay.
16.
16. Okay, good enough. How does Veda descend? Have you done much rope rappelling?
Absolutely not. I think she would probably just copy Emlyn. Like, seeing that Emlyn seemed to get down there quite easily, sort of try and copy what they did.
Okay.
She definitely wouldn't just hold on to the rope, like, she would rappel down, because if she tried to just hold on to the rope, she'd just fall.
Yeah, for sure. I think like with an acrobatics check, like it's not strength thing, and you're smart enough to realize like, oh, they didn't seem to have a problem, and you picked up on it quite quick as you quickly descend down to the bottom as well.
I think she would try and have a little peek in the rooms that she was going past on the way as well.
Yeah, as you have your hair kind of lightly burning, and you kind of like peer in again, you just see. Make a perception check on the way down.
17?
17. As you peer around, it's not just quiet. There should be things living here. You'd expect that, it's something to take this place. Bugs you might see from the ground disrupting them, mice maybe, but it's quiet. It's very quiet. As you slowly descend down, you look at all these broken chambers, bits of furniture just smashed to pieces, rotting away. As you again hit the bottom. Emlyn, you want to have a look around?
Yeah, I feel like they want to look around but stealthily,
Okay.
and not like too far. They don't want to be like out of sight.
Okay. Make a investigation check.
It's a 7.
Okay. Distracted minds. As you kind of peer around, trying to look for anything, maybe like a bit of light peering through, or, maybe like a run for an animal to run through. It just doesn't seem to be much from that 30-foot kind of radius away from the rope. And the room is like kind of now just big rocky terrain where the whole place collapsed with bits of smoother ground at the further edges. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be anywhere to get out down here.
Maybe when Vader gets down, Emlyn is like visibly shaken. Like they're not mad. They're just like very jumpy.
As Vida hits the bottom.
Have you seen anywhere we could go?
What? No. There's kind of seems like lots of the rooms are all caved in, and I thought we should wait until. I don't think there was much. Or when Fig comes down, we'll have a proper look.
Okay, I'm gonna untie the rope.
Okay.
And throw it down.
Throw it.
Yeah, we'll just like toss it over the edge.
Okay. As Fig says, nothing personal.
Boom!
Oh my god! Twist. So that's it, right? That's it. So Fig, I feel like I'm expecting like literally anything could happen at this point. You know, like Fig was in league with them the whole time. It was all a story coming out of the Feywild. Thanks everyone for listening to Draw Your Swords. It's been a great campaign. Hope you enjoyed it. We perish below in the darkness.
Like any good D&D campaign, you
You
lose.
just didn't roll a high enough insight. So Vader and Emlyn are dead.
Fig gets all the money that came out.
Fig gets all the money back with the bandits. Done.
Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
easy. You'd never know.
Great arc. Again, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting. I just like that idea a lot.
Yeah, it would be great.
I feel like when you said that, I was like, I can't top this. Maybe I should just turn on them.
It would be so funny.
Yeah, secret new backstory I didn't tell Sandy about. Boo.
He's gonna turn into a giant wolf spider again and crawl on down.
Fig, as you descend downwards with your spider form, you reach the bottom. Veda, hair flickering all around. You see a very nervous Emlyn holding the lantern. What would you like to do in your spider form, I suppose?
Ooh. I want to look around. See if I can see anything or hear anything even. Like maybe like running water coming from a different room or something, you know, that might suggest that there's a room behind that one.
Can Veda have a look around as well? Like I feel like once she got down and joined Emlyn, she would have a look for something that might help or anywhere they can move forwards.
Okay.
Emlyn is following Vader around.
Fig, you're looking specifically for like
A
another
perception
room.
check. Yeah.
Another room on the other side with like running water or something.
Just anything making a noise on the other side, so
Okay.
we know that there might be another room back there or something.
Okay, make a perception check. And Veda, what are you specifically looking for?
No, natural one.
She's looking just to see if there's any doors or passageways or anything that could lead them to somewhere else where there may potentially be a way out. Because she's figuring if this is like, there's a lot of rooms here, so presumably there wasn't only one way in and one way out. Because it seems like there's quite a lot of spaces, so.
Yeah. Okay, make either survival or investigation, whatever's higher for you.
Investigation. 15?
So, assuming that there's a way out, Fig, you hear nothing.
I
Again,
just hear Emlyn like breathing heavily.
as Veda, you're kind of looking around. You don't see like a passageway per se, but as you're kind of like peering around, you're sticking real close to the far edges of this probably like 50-foot radius room. And you kind of hit one section as you just see your hair flicker to the side a bit. As Emlyn walks past, assuming still following you, their lantern flickers. As you kind of put your hand over it, there seems to be a airflow behind one of these large pillars that have collapsed inwards.
Is there just collapse? Is there anything that looks like we could move it?
As you kind of peer through the hole, there doesn't seem to be anything on the other side. It just seems that this doorway was built up with a couple of rock pillars, and there's now a rock on the side, so it could easily be pushed out the way and barged through with enough strength.
Big?
Yeah, with enough strength is the.
I like scuttle over. Still a spider.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna come out of my spider form. I'm gonna put my hand onto the. Was it a boulder or a pillar? Did you say?
It's like a boulder that you could push, and then pillars that you could push through the door.
I'm gonna try push the big boulder,
You're like
I'm gonna
vaguely helping, I think.
Yeah.
yeah, little
Yeah.
little group effort. I'm gonna cast guidance on myself, and like my hands get covered in more plants and stuff as I touch the boulder.
Okay. So roll with advantage, I suppose, if you guys are helping.
Because your buff friends are helping.
We're
Yeah.
doing our best.
Ooh, 12. Ooh, 4. So
What's gonna happen if we
16.
all just like roll really low strength and really low perception? We're just gonna be trapped in this room
You
forever.
just die down here.
It was close. As you
It can still happen, guys.
as you grab the boulder and you dig your fingers in, it's enough to push over as the boulder rolls off to the side as you just kind of shoulder charge into the pillar, and it opens up and shows you just long corridor with multiple rooms off to the side.
Is the corridor like lit
No,
with torches?
it is completely dark. As you've now entered into a chamber that people haven't been in a long time, is thick dust clots are just floating in the air, and you've disturbed this air, and it smells quite old and musky, and if you have asthma, it's not a good place to be.
Oh, it's so spooky. Emily wants to search the rooms.
Okay.
Are you guys up for searching the rooms if Emily goes ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, make an investigation check.
A bit of help.
Sure.
That's 17 investigation.
So as you walk down this corridor, you peer into a couple of rooms. The doors are hanging off hinges, others kind of sealed. As you kind of peer into a couple, some look like residents where people have slept. Not anything nice. You see old tattered cloth and beds all collapsed in on themselves. But again, there's no life here at all. They're not intricately designed. There's some tattered oil painting art on the wall of scenery that's all just washed away. A piece of an ancient society has just been left untouched by the rest of the world. And
Can
nothing is
I-
wandering around.
Can I roll intelligence or something to see if Veda would know if it's strange that there's no life at all down here, or if she's just assuming that that's just what it's like when you're underground? I don't think she's had any reason to be this far underground, so I don't know if she really realizes that it's odd, or what, if she just thinks that's what it's like down here, because there's no light or anything, so...
I mean, probably Fig knows as well, right?
Okay.
Yeah, he's wondering why there's not any like plant life down here. Because if there's moisture in there and stuff like that, then there should be fungus or, you know, stuff growing down here.
Yeah.
At 13 for intelligence check.
I would say from either stories you might have heard from your traveling friend that they've been in underground caverns and things, and it's always teeming with something, some creepy crawly or whatnot, or rat, or you've heard stories of large bug-like creatures that burrow through the ground and make nests of things, and even plant life that comes to life, but not here.
Does it seem like someone's sort of been keeping it, even though it's all old and sort of decrepit? Does it like clean and tidy in a way that looks like someone's been looking after it?
I would say kinda. It looks like someone tidied it and it's just been left. No one's touched it since it was tidied. But there's dust in the air. You can see on the dressers, there's a thick layer of dust on everything. As you're kind of walking through, your feet echo out, and there's just a path that you can probably see your footprint from the dust lying the ground. It just continues on like a large tunnel, different rooms off into different rooms. And it almost seems like a giant labyrinth of rooms and corridors.
It just looks like living quarters and stuff, right? There's just like these ancient paintings, these ancient beds. There's nothing. They're not different kinds of rooms. They're not.
There's some that are like dining rooms. There's some kitchens and eating quarters. Maybe a social area. It fits Fig, these places. They're not small. What you would normally associate maybe with tales of dwarfs of old and their mountainous homes. It's quite like a normal house, almost like a vault of some kind, maybe like Fallout's kind of style, that's just a society of people living underground. Whether this was above ground at some point or not, it's hard to say, but yeah, it looks like a castle or fortress underground.
As we look around, I would like to cast Detect Magic. Do I feel anything?
In the air, nothing strong, but there's this underlining magical essence. Nothing drawing you in any direction, but there's a magical feeling about it.
Do I know what kind of magic it is?
No,
I think from the spell I get to know, or is it just unknown to me?
it's unknown. This is a magic that's very different from any kind of school of magic.
Guys, I can sense magic in the air, but it's not strong or anything like that. And it's not coming from any sort of direction. It's just this whole place seems to have a sort of magical aura.
It's creepy.
Yeah, it's not great. And
It's a very, very creepy place.
And I can't even tell what kind of like magic it is. I don't know it.
I was gonna say, there's nothing like, there's no valuables, there's no books, there's no symbols, or like, as far as we can tell, like from our rolls, we don't see anything like that.
Nothing like gold or jewelry. You might see a couple of nice boxes of things, but as you open them up and look inside, there's typically linens that are kind of intact. There's where you'd expect there to be in classic kind of dungeons, there'd be full of treasure, maybe stories you've heard of just underground, enormous amounts of treasure just forgotten by time, but there's nothing like that. There's no jewelry, there's just ruined paintings, maybe a couple of wooden tankards, but anything valuable seems to have disappeared.
Yeah, I was going to say Veda wouldn't really be looking for valuables so much as just looking for like anything that would give any kind of hint as to what this place used to be or why it's here, why it was abandoned, like anything like that.
Okay. Make a...
Right? I feel like if it's full of books written in like Infernal, then that changes the vibe.
Yeah. Make just another investigation as you're continuing down, looking at all these rooms.
19?
Okay. A lot of the rooms, you do find bookcases all collapsed in on themselves. Some do contain books, not as many as you'd hope. As you pick them up and blow dust off them as you open the page. It's written in a strange language to you, Veda, Emlyn. Fig, it seems to be written in Giant. A very old Giant. It would take you a while to try read through it, but as you kind of skim through a couple of pages, it seems to be a telling of just a simple novel. It doesn't seem to be anything too crazy as you skim through a couple of the pages, and the writing on the side seems to say Traveler's Lust.
So this seems to be some sort of like novel written in Giant called A Traveler's Lust. Is it smutty, Sandy, if I read it?
As you kind of begin reading through it, it's not smutty, it's more a romance novel. But again, it's hard to say, like, you know the word for kiss and things like that, different words, but it would take you a while to actually read through it. And there's numerous of other books, but it mostly just seems to be novels.
This is really weird.
Not diaries or, philosophical comments of their society back in the day, but a lot of the ones you come by are in Giant. Some are in a language that you don't even understand. Fig. And it seems to be
as far as
different
we can
scholars.
tell, society for many years has just been horny.
I mean, if it's just a story, it doesn't seem like the same thing as the kind of statue upstairs, does it?
No, I feel, now that I've read this, I feel less threatened by this area.
Would Veda have heard of any kind of like underground giants? Is there like a type of giant that lives underground or anything?
Make a history check.
9?
Not really. You do know that giants typically can live where people live. The rooms in here don't look giant. They don't look intensely huge. These books look not super old. Even when you're flicking through the pages, the parchment seems fine. The doors here could fit Fig, but they're not giants, which you've met Poppy, who's 20 foot tall, and it would not fit him in here. Maybe a race of furbolgs, who knows? Or some half giants of some kind, but not any giants that you know that we could fit in here just logistically.
I think we should keep moving.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
I'm gonna put the book down.
Okay. You're not taking it with you?
No.
Okay.
If someone wants me to.
No, leave all the stuff. There's no bugs, and we're a very long way underground. But it's not like cozy dwarf underground, you know? I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I put the book down.
Okay.
I don't know where it's been.
One of the pages sticks together.
No!
So what's the kind of walking order here as you're looking around this area?
I feel like Fig's at the
Maybe-
back, kind of listening intently to the surroundings, see if he hears anything.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Well, I was going to say that I feel like I normally sneak ahead, but I probably also, can't see very well. So
Yeah.
if you want to go first, that's fine.
I'll light the way.
Okay.
I still have my little torch going.
Yeah, I got my lantern. I think the emblem is a bit it's creepy.
Yeah. Fig, make a perception check, and Veda, make a survival check.
14?
15?
Okay.
1 up. Haha.
Veda, as you walk through this labyrinth of chambers, and you're walking for a while. It's hard to tell how long you're walking, but you're walking just through doors that lead into different corridors and halls, old ancient dining rooms fit for kings, as you begin pushing through, and you're kind of just trying to follow this airflow that seems to be carrying you, and you keep noticing it, but there's no logical reason for it to be here. There's no easy place for it to come through, as you kind of follow it, almost like a follower to a will-o-wisp. You're just kind of drawn to it a little bit. You don't feel uneasy by it at all. Fig, as you kind of listen out again, you hear nothing. Silence, apart from the pitter-patter of your own feet and the burning of your hands and Emlyn's lantern, and you're just keeping your ears out for anything. As you round one corner, Fig, you immediately get a flashback. You see a strange green glow illuminating a room. You see it bouncing off thousands of gold, silver, and copper coins, and a large green gem stands in the middle of this room. Veda, you feel the airflow drawing you up. As you look up towards the top, you see what looks like an upside down well.
So, do we all see the green crystal?
Oh yeah,
It's just familiar to Fig.
it's familiar to Fig.
Does it look like the little one that the dwarf lady gave to Veda?
As you pull it out and look at it, it's similar color, and similar to the one that Doogie Harmon had, there's chips off the bottom of it.
Does this look like the one that I saw in the dream sort of thing?
Yes.
I've seen this before. I saw this when you're talking to Doogie Harmon. I saw it in a vision, and now I don't know what that means though.
And we all see the coins.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what Emlyn comments on. You think it's real?
I don't know. I mean, must be right.
I think Emlyn just goes over to the coins to see if they're real.
Okay. As you kind of walk into this room,
Oh god,
And
it's going to be so dangerous.
it's a pretty big room as well. As you kind of pick up a gold coin, kind of inspect it, the mint on it is very different to the ones that you carry around. There's no king mint on it of the Zendarian Empire. It's still gold and seems pretty real, but the mint's different and seems to symbolize a giant dragon's head.
These ones are more valuable.
Well, I mean, yeah, is it like gold, or is it like gold, the color gold?
It will be similar to your coin gold, yeah. So it'll be gold mixed with tin? Question mark? Is it tin?
Yeah, I guess basically the question is, does Emlyn have a handle on whether like it's worth anything?
Yeah, it's worth stuff for sure.
And is it like a huge pile?
Huge, like thousands and thousands. Like it's piling up all over the walls. You see it kind of bundling up underneath this crystal.
So
And we can all see the well in the ceiling.
Yeah, as you look up,
is there a
Light
hole?
coming from it, yeah.
Yeah.
as you kind of peer closer to it, as the crystal's kind of directly underneath it, you peer up and you see light at the top, and it goes up a very, very long way.
Does it look like outside light?
Hard to say.
Can Veda get closer to the crystal?
Sure, yeah,
Can she go up and investigate it? Just have a closer look.
sure. Make an investigation check. What are you looking for?
She just wants to get a better look at it and see if it looks like the little one that thingy Himdala gave her is from that, like it's been chipped off of that, or if it's different.
Okay.
21.
Okay. As you approach it, as everyone kind of looking up at this well, you take out this small green crystal and you kind of shape it to fit some of these chips off of it. And as you're kind of getting close to it, you find one that kind of fits pretty close to it. And you can assume that it was off of this one. And the color is very similar, but your one's not glowing compared to this one. It has a slight illuminating glow.
Can she touch the little small one to the big one?
As you touch it, you get this sense, a feeling of immense knowledge and power coming from this. Not in the same way it gives you visions as the other ones saw, but you guess that it wants a question and it has answers. So however you want to react to that is up to you. But you feel that this crystal has power beyond anything than in this realm.
Is this just what she's got the little one touching against it?
Yeah.
Ooh, got you here.
As your vision kind of blurs slightly, a strange voice comes out and it says, "To you, they are the old ones. To me, they are the creators. They are powerful wizards of the Ivory Coast. They created us back a long time ago, roughly 15,000 years ago. I've been sitting here waiting for questions that I can now answer. Although I grow weaker, I'm more willing to help you. My creators are from the age of creation, and I their conduit of power." As you guys see Veda touching this green crystal to this larger green crystal.
Peter, what are you doing?
Can you hear
Can I hear it, Cindy?
No.
Hear what?
the crystal talking?
It's talking. What's it saying?
I feel like Veda's gonna just not reply to Fig and keep talking to the crystal.
Okay.
We have seen another like you, but red. Do you know anything about this? Are there several?
There were many that were created in the age of creation. Some that have different powers. I, a creation of questions for answers, answers to questions. I've been sitting here waiting for someone to ask questions for a long time. The red one was used for other things. It would be used for destruction and war. There's others like me that could levitate the largest of cities, give people the opportunity to bend the fates themselves. I am but a vessel to answer questions. As you see the glowingness of this crystal begin to fade slightly. Is there anything else you seek?
I have a lot of questions, but I think I shouldn't ask all of them just now. Do you know how we can get out of here?
As it doesn't answer back. And you hear from top of the well, "Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Who's down there?"
Who's up there?
"'Tis I, Poppy."
Oh, hi, Poppy.
"Hello?
It's Fig and Veda.
What
We
do
helped you
down
the
there?
other day. We're stuck.
How did you get down there?"
We got
By mistake.
yeah, it was a mistake.
"Need help?"
Yes, Veda, are you? What's going on with the crystal? You didn't answer me.
I'll explain later.
Are you okay if you want to go now?
I think she's just gonna say to the crystal, I saw a vision when I touched the other crystal of a fortress on a mountain with a contraption to put this crystal piece in. Do you know where this is?
"It lies to the east from here, atop the mountains. That is a contraption to bend the will of the stars. It is powerful, but fortresses like this one that you're in scatter the land almost endlessly. The fact that you get to me so easily means that your story still has more to be told. If you saw a vision from the red crystal to go there, then you are fated to." As it begins to dull even more. Ooh. I grow weak. My time is almost done.
Can we do anything to revive you?
I need powerful magic. The ones from the age of creation. The well of knowledge that I store within my body ensures that I cannot get this power. I'm overworked. And I grow weak. And it does almost till but a flicker. I have but one question left if you need to ask me anything.
I feel like Veda doesn't really want to break this thing. So she might just leave it. Give it a little pat.
Do you touch it with your hand?
Sure.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
I feel like she would. She's just been chatting to it.
Yeah.
18?
Okay. As you touch into it, your hand draws to it like a magnet, and it says, "Yes."
Sorry. Bye.
As you pull your hand away, and kind of has this weird tingly feeling in your hand, almost like it's gone numb slightly. And Poppy shouts down, "Give me a moment, we'll help."
Thanks, Poppy.
I love Poppy.
Meanwhile, Emlyn is just like filling a little bag with this gold. I don't think Harry necessarily thinks it's a good idea, but Emlyn is doing it.
Okay. I'd say you probably can carry generously about 200 gold pieces.
Yeah, I don't think they want to be weighed down.
Yeah.
Can they still walk normally with that?
Yeah. I would say so.
Start filling
so-
Fig's backpack.
So 200 weird gold pieces.
Yeah.
Or is that what I should write them down?
Yeah,
as?
I'd say so. 200 out of mint gold pieces.
You just need to find a coin collector and we're in the money.
As a rope gets thrown down, and it hits onto the side of the crystal.
You ready to go now? Emlyn, you ready?
Yes, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start climbing up.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'll go last to help the other guys up.
Okay. Not too much trouble with Fig at the bottom of you guys helping you up. As sometimes Veda, I think you'd probably slip a little bit. Same with. But Emlyn seems to be quite.
Weight's too much for her.
Yeah, Emlyn seems to be quite agile climbing. Emlyn, as you reach the top, you see standing about 20 foot tall is this large pot-belly giant with red skin and a pink underbelly with a big upturned nose, kind of looking at you with big ice blue eyes. He says, "Who you?"
I'm Emlyn. Hi.
"Hi."
Poppy Emlyn is our friend.
And he kind of turns his head towards you. He says, "How did get down there? That is my storage."
We got stuck in a underground place a little while away from here, and we followed some tunnels and we ended up here.
You can see on his face, he doesn't typically hide it. He seems a bit upset.
We fell through the floor of a cave, and it was the only way we could get out without dying. So thank you for saving us.
Not take gold, though.
No?
Make a deception check.
God, don't make us kill Poppy.
I'm not good at this. Oh, it's a 20 though.
Okay. He tilts his head and looks you up and down. Okay. Well, anything else? As you're kind of like on the bank of the rushing water, as you're under the bridge, that seems to be nice and flowing now, and this well just kind of sitting here.
How far away did we travel from then? If we know, like, kind of roughly where we went in?
You're probably like a
Quite
good,
far.
yeah, like a good,
Yeah.
probably 20 miles.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did it seem like that underground?
Not really. It's hard to say
Really
though.
Spherical.
It was like just
Yeah, what time of day is it?
as you
Is it
kind of
night now?
as you kind of come out and look up at the sky, it's late afternoon for sure. Probably hitting 5 or 6.
Not necessarily like we could have walked 20 miles.
No.
Time.
I mean, 20 miles you could get there in about 5 or 6 hours.
What are we gonna do now? Can we even go back to town?
Need help up to bridge?
Oh.
Yes, please. Thank you,
Yes.
Poppy.
The size difference between Poppy and Fig is enormous. It's obviously bigger than Emlyn to Fig, as Poppy just grabs Fig in his hand. That's how small he is. And kind of 2 hands lifts Fig up onto top of the bridge, and then very gently picks up Veda and Emlyn and pops them on top of the bridge. And he kind of waves at you and says, "Good luck."
Thanks, Poppy. I like that we're measuring stuff in figs.
9-foot figs.
Mm-hmm.
As
Veda will give Poppy another kiss on the cheek.
he smiles and kind of like kicks the waters like a big wave. As he
Thank you for helping us, Poppy. I don't know how we would have gotten out of there without you.
It is okay.
You're my favorite giant.
And he looks towards Fig and smiles.
Smile back.
As
He's
you
my favorite drawing too.
as you guys turn to face towards Lilion and look up, the sky is blackened by the smoke pouring from Lilion. A big black column of smoke just emanates from it.
Do I recognize this from my vision? The black sky. Did I
The
see
black sky encompassed the sky. This looks similar, but not quite.
Guess we better go to Lilian then. Let's go.
We're going
Okay.
towards the smoke.
that? Well, what if there's people that need our help?
No, that's what I was gonna say because I want to. Great, let's lead the way. Go ahead.
Do you want to get there quickly?
Yes, I think we need to.
Okay, I horse it.
Okay. As you transform into this giant horse and you begin sprinting it down towards Lilion, and you see a lot of the farmers that are kind of packing it in and they were going to go towards Lilion for their evening drinks are now just standing back in fear as you rush forward, and you see all these farmers kind of looking at you as you race on by. A couple of carts that are now off to the side of merchants traveling there now stopped in fear of what lies in Lilion. As you just begin bolting and bolting as fast as your legs can take you. And as you approach closer, it is not Lilion that's ablaze, but the noble house, the neat was, but a burning ruin, now just billowing out smoke. As you notice up on top of the hill as you approach closer is nothing but ash and a crater of what it once was.
So, do you remember Alexander had that wand
Fig's ears kind of go back.
I mean, do you think he did this?
Seems likely. Is there anyone around?
As you kind of race on towards Lilion, there's a couple of guards at the eastern gates, just kind of like confused, unsure what to do. The entire town is a bit of panic. That seems to be a bit quieting down. The people are just kind of stood in fear, not knowing what to do.
What happened here?
As you approach this human with his helmet a little bit too big and him holding his spear very closely to his chest, and he kind of looks up at you and goes, "Huh? Oh, I don't know. It just exploded." And he kind of like wiggles his ear like it was very loud, and just I don't know what to do.
How long ago?
Couple of hours. We raced as quickly as we could up there to try put it out, but there was nothing left, just a crater upon the hill. I don't know what kind of magic or thing could have done that, but it was big and loud, like a god had been annoyed with them or something and blew them off the face of the earth. I don't know.
And when you went up there, were there any of the guards who had already been up around there? Had been patrolling?
And he kind of lowers his head. He says, "There was some, yes, but they did not make it."
And have you reported back to your commander?
Alexander's not here. We've been looking
He's
for
not,
him.
is he? No one's seen him.
Not since he left out this gate this morning, or this afternoon with you guys.
Fig's gonna start going in the direction of the inn.
Okay.
We
So-
can group huddle at the inn.
As you're encountering towards Greenfall Square, you see people in passing holding loved ones, unsure what's happening. As you just enter into the square, you see people just confused, befuddled. Everyone's outside. You see Jean-Luc and Milo outside the Golden Grain Inn. You see odd and strange kind of conversing in their sign language. You see a number of other people all just gathering around in the square, trying to make sense of what's going on as you approach the inn.
Veda's gonna keep an eye out and see if she can spot Francis
Okay.
anywhere.
Make a perception check.
22.
As you take a quick glance around, you see Francis coming into the square as you guys enter in. She seems to be with a small battalion of guards. They seem to be well more organized than anyone else, and she seems to be patrolling around and questioning people.
Veda was like kind of lean a little bit closer to Emlyn and just speak really quietly and be like, "Okay, so I'm thinking that Alexander has been working with that red-skinned goblin man or whatever, and the explosives from the warehouse were moved to the house. That kind of sounds like what happened."
I mean, yeah, that does sound like what happened. I mean, it's not our fault. It's not our fault, is it? It's not our fault. I mean, it's not. Wands of fireballs don't kill people. People kill people, you know?
You can't blame yourself for what others do.
No, exactly. I definitely can't.
As Fig, you transform back.
Emlyn's tense. Emlyn's very tense.
What?
Veda's gonna hop down off a fig.
I mean, the place we were in before. I guess maybe Emlyn is still just basically getting a piggyback so that their head can be at the same level as everyone else's, so we can still like do the quiet huddle. The place we were in before had other rooms, right?
The Golden Green.
No, the
The
place that collapsed, didn't it? Did it? I thought it had
it-
people chanting. Did it have other people in it?
You heard chanting, but you don't know what that was.
I don't know.
Or do you think
It was
that whole
like-
place was fake?
I don't know.
See, it had this statue with this crown and
I don't know if it was real or fake, but I think the biggest problem is that the person in charge of everyone, like all the guards and stuff, is evil. We need to find him and stop him, or it seems like he might be the cause of what happened up on the mountain. Like with that big fire one thing, like he almost killed me with it. I don't see how he could have done this with it. Like it destroyed that whole room. It seemed powerful. You okay, Emlyn?
But I think they look visibly tense.
Emlyn, what were you doing yesterday?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this, but it's only because you two seem like decent people. And no one else really does. And I'd rather associate with decent people if I can. But I have reason to believe that someone may be connected to the sort of statue, the sort of menacing statue that we saw in the kind of not hideout, sent someone into the noble houses to get that wand.
Are you saying that you got the wand for him?
That's very much not what I said out loud. No.
But that is what you meant.
Alexander is connected to the statue, and the statue has a crown on it, and I recognize the crown, and it's a person that goes by the Obsidian Prince.
Does Veda know who that is?
Make a history check.
Ooh, 11.
Nothing jumps out to you as a name like the Obsidian Prince would probably stick in your mind a little bit, but...
Who is the Obsidian Prince? Is that like a religious thing?
Honestly, I don't know. All I have is the name. I don't know these people. I'm not... They screwed me over, kind of. I mean, I don't know them. And they were kind of like blackmailing me, basically.
How are they blackmailing you?
The normal way.
I think you are going to have to explain what you were doing yesterday and what it has to do with this if I am going to trust you.
I'm taking Emlyn off my shoulders. Putting him on the floor.
Oh no. Emlyn looks very sad at that. That's all I know. I got a letter and it said it was from the Obsidian Prince, and they wanted me to go and get the wand, and they knew where it was going to be in the house, and then I got it.
You gave them the wand?
I just got it and gave it to the person I was supposed to, and I thought, it's a great big fancy house, like what do they need a wand for? I didn't know it was a fireball wand. I just thought there's no reason they would need it.
So you gave the wand to Alexander?
No, I just gave it to, there was someone it was just like an orc guy in like a big cloak and stuff, That was the only contact I had. I didn't know it was Alexander.
I want to roll insight on them to see if they're telling the whole truth.
Sure.
15.
I mean, what you get from that is like, Emily's telling the truth.
Oh, you're telling the truth? Okay.
Like, they were surprised to see Alexander.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you that you didn't know, but you shouldn't have been taking stuff like that. Like, you might not have known what it did. That's what happens when you steal things. You can hurt people with it. And hurt others. Like, look what...
Well, I wouldn't have stolen it if it was money from someone who needed it.
Why did you need to do the job? Did they have something on you? You said they blackmailed you.
Kind of. I mean, it was. I think Emlyn is like worried, and they don't want to lose them as friends because they don't really have anyone else they can hang out with. And so they kind of like cave a little bit, and they're like, I mean, obviously it was for money, but I need the money. And also, it was a very threatening letter. I mean, it's not the kind of letter that you just sort of ignore. I mean, Obsidian Prince, that sounds pretty bad, doesn't it?
Does money do this to people? Make
But
them
I
do bad
need the money.
things?
I had to.
But if you needed money, I could have given you money.
I don't think
just
you could have
said.
given me enough.
How much do you need?
I mean, do you mean in total?
Yeah.
10,000?
Why do you need so much?
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't always that much. It was just little things that kept going wrong, you know? Like, there'd be people that I made deals with that sort of went a little bit wrong, and I thought, well, if I'm a little bit in debt, the only way to make more money with the business is to borrow more money to get more stock in. But it wasn't always the right thing. There was a lot of people that I kind of assumed were above board and asked for advice on what to buy, and ended up with a lot of faulty stock that I couldn't shift. And I mean, it was over a long time. It was lots of little things that went wrong. I mean, in the end, really, I kind of decided that maybe being in business wasn't the right career for me. I thought it was. I mean, I really tried to make it work. I mean, I probably tried to make it work for quite a lot longer than I should have. Could possibly have given up when it wasn't quite such a bad situation, but you know, I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to go home and have to tell everyone that I needed money. I mean, it was always, that's what they thought would happen, you know. When I first went over to the mainland, no one really leaves the island where I'm from, and they all say, you can't trust people over there, and there's no reason to leave, and they don't really like it when people do. And I thought it would be a good way to finally have the money that I need. But actually, it kind of went the other way.
You're doing these things to try pay it off.
Well, I have to.
What would happen if you don't?
I mean, they have. It's a court settlement, and I have to pay a certain amount over time. But really, I kind of just want it all to be gone, because they know my home address.
Fig kind of bends down, and he says, and he takes his coin purse and hands it to Emlyn. It's only got 14 gold in it and 4 silver, but he's giving it to you.
Yeah, no.
No.
That's really not.
No, please
no,
have it.
No, I don't want it. Please don't.
Too bad you're having it. And I stand up.
Well,
I want. We will help
well,
you
I just
if you need
exploded
help.
a whole house, so please.
Yeah, well.
Back.
No, because if you do stuff because you're desperate, and people do things when they're desperate, and it's bad, and it is. You have to learn from that and not do it again. So I want you to not do it again, and this is hopefully going to help.
Well, hold on. You want me to not do what again?
You know, steal from people and not tell us about it? Or keep secrets like you've been doing?
I'm not keeping... I don't...
You didn't tell us for a day until bad things happened. Like, what if this never happened? You'd never have told us, and we wouldn't have known what was wrong.
Well, because I've learned not to trust people that I've just met.
But sometimes they're good people and they want to help.
At this point, Francis comes over, storming with about 4 or 5 guards. She says, "You there? Where's Alexander?"
I don't know. He put us into a abandoned underground building and attacked us with a firebolt wand, so I would like to see him myself.
And her face is just in disbelief. And she looks towards you and says, "What are you saying?" And she kind of looks you up and down, and you're all a bit burned and covered in dust and looking a little bit worse for wear.
I think Emlyn backs this up. Like, he took us out of town and he turned on us.
He almost killed us.
And she looks towards Veda. Do you think he caused this?
I think it's definitely a distinct possibility.
How did he leave you to die?
He took us to a place near Hilmere Loch, where he said there was a bandit captain who we had a brush with before, and that he was going to help us to get rid of him because he wanted to help. And what he actually did was waited until we went inside, and then he shut us in there and attacked us with a firebolt wand and left us trapped on the ground.
I trust you. You have passion and like to see things done right. I believe you. Alexander, however, is spineless. Do you know anything else? Any direction that he was going or not?
I don't think so, but I think he may be in league with these bandits who seem to be connected to Kinzentree Maya.
I have not heard of these bandits roaming around until you came along.
We found some explosives that are used for mining in one of the warehouses in the Canal District, and we were trying to track them down to find out what was happening, and I think we may have found what was happening, only a little too late.
It was never brought to my attention that these people were working around. Bandits normally pillage an area for a little while before being thrown off and then coming back because they have nothing better to do. But I have not seen them before.
I think Alexander is in league with them. The ones who had taken over the known world were connected to them too.
Having you there explain bandits roaming around my town was an eye-opener to me, I will say.
I think Alexander might have been hiding a lot from you.
Perhaps it is time that we have a look through all his correspondence. And she turns and begins to walk away. And she kind of like turns to back to look towards you guys and says, if there's anything you can do, that would be much appreciated. But if you want to leave, I will understand. I've got things from here.
Does she seem genuine that she is angry, or does she seem like she's putting it on?
Make an insight check.
12?
She seems to be quite genuine. She doesn't seem to be the kind of person to hide things, especially feelings.
Every single guard we come across, insight check, insight check, insight check.
I mean, I will. This is all I'm good at.
Can Veda just kind of go along with her?
Yeah, if you want to follow her.
Okay, cool. Veda's gonna follow her.
Yeah,
she wants to look through Alexander's stuff as well because she wants to find that little bitch and burn him to the ground.
Yeah.
Emlyn like runs along behind.
Okay.
Yeah, Fig follows too.
So you head towards the lion's den at the point where Alexander has been running this operation. As she goes through the front door, Alexander's desk now empty for the first time, and she looks at it with disgust. She begins opening all the drawers with a key that she has and starts rifling through, leaving some on the table. A couple of minutes pass of her reading through bits and pieces. Maybe you guys pick up some as well. And everything seems to be reports of patrols, reports to the DYS of their guard all around them, the shifts that's all going to be scheduling. Is there anything you guys would like to investigate through? Is there anything you guys are looking for?
Veda, keep an eye out for hidden stuff, like, you know, people are sneaky, like to hide things.
Can we look for stuff like in any of the papers?
Okay, like what?
Well, you know, like the Kinzentree Maya Trading Company,
Okay.
or you know, like weird stuff that doesn't look like guard stuff.
Okay. Veda, as you kind of try to keep out for, you know, like hidden compartments of things, you don't really find anything like that. Emlyn, as you're going through some papers, Make an investigation check.
12.
12. Okay.
Not rolling great. Not rolling great this episode.
As you begin flicking through some, there's only one mention of King's Entry Mire. Is an old note, correspondence between the Nitoise and Alexander, saying that the Bannermen are heading south to investigate some disturbance in King's Entry that could potentially upset the trade routes between there. Alexander wants them to go investigate.
But it doesn't have like any more information about what this disturbance is, because we've never heard what specifically it was.
Not really. That's why they were sent there, to investigate a disturbance. Reports of people being hurt and trade routes being pillaged, but non-survivors have been left to tell the tale.
Does he have any plants on his desk? Or
No.
around his desk? Okay.
Veda's gonna talk to Francis again and say, in the noble house, were the family there?
Yes, there was.
How many were there?
5. 3 children, and the wife, and a nobleman.
They are dead.
Yes, including 10 of my men that were patrolling that area as well.
I think Emlyn goes outside.
Do you have any idea why Alexander would do this?
He's not told me much about his life or backstory or anything like that. There's nothing out of the ordinary. He was born in Zundarian. He was not one of the most well-off people when he first came. He rose to the ranks quickly during the enrollment and became a captain of the guard and was positioned out here. Specifically,
How long has he been in this town?
7 years, maybe more.
Is there anyone who's particularly close to him? Like friends or anything like that?
No, not really. I was probably the closest thing he had to a friend. He mostly sat and did, paperwork, so it is.
You can't think of any sort of motive he'd maybe have to do this.
No. Not for me. He would not tell me anything.
He must be in it for something. Just can't figure it out though. Does he live nearby?
He lives in the Lion's Den. That's where most of us live in the barracks. He has his own quarters.
Could we search his quarters maybe? Might find something in there.
She nods. I'll take you up. And she takes you up and around to the back of the building where you did all the signing of your papers. You go through this kind of like little office area where there's desks and parchment and things, and you head up the stairs. There seems to be some other offices up here, and there's another set of stairs that go up, and into the top of that room is a pretty basic living quarters. A double bed, a wash bowl.
Plants?
I don't think so.
Damn it.
There's a couple of windows in here that looks onto the now ruins of the Nitoise estate. There's a small desk and a couple of chest of drawers and a wardrobe.
Do you know if he had any sort of relations of the Nitoise that was like negative or anything?
Not really. Obviously the Nitoise were not well liked. They were new nobles. They were once wealthy merchants and were granted nobility for some reason. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe some of the records in a library somewhere. Maybe in Zundaria you'll find answers. That's where they both came from.
How old is he?
Mid-30s, I
And
believe.
how old is the Nitois?
Must be in his 50s or 60s.
Thinking maybe they could have been like old friends or something. But I guess not. Let's search the room.
Okay. What are you looking for?
Searching for any sort of loose panels.
Okay.
Under the bed. floorboards, stuff like that.
But
Veda
I'll
can-
help. Yeah.
Okay, Veda will help.
Veda general it. I'll keep a sort of weather eye open for any scuff marks or whatever.
22.
22. As you're kind of scanning the room, Francis just stands at the door to not get in your way, as you're again trying to feel for any loose panels or anything like that. And you find just under the bed a small loose panel. You're able to get your finger underneath it and lift it up. There's only small bits of parchment, and on top, black sealing wax and a stamp. As you look at the stamp, it resembles a broken crown.
Obsidian prints.
Okay, Beta's gonna take those. Is there anything on the parchment, or is it just blank parchment?
Just blank parchment.
Yeah, Beta's gonna take those
Okay.
and show Francis, but also take them outside to show to Emlyn.
Okay. As you kind of show Francis, and she says, I've never seen that before. I do not know what that is.
Okay, you can take them outside and show them to Emlyn.
Okay.
Is this the stamp that was on the letter that you got?
Yeah, Emlyn nods.
Okay.
I guess maybe Emlyn wants to look at it to see if it's like, you know, if that like lemon juicing shit where you have to heat it up, or if it's like, if you hold it up to the light, whether you can see through it or anything.
Yeah, as you hold up to the light and trying to inspect it, it just looks like blank parchment. There's not anything weird about it.
And there's nothing else in the hole under the bed.
No, that's all it was.
Okay, I'll go meet Emlyn and Veda downstairs.
Okay.
Do you think it could be magical link?
I mean, I wouldn't know.
I can know, but I need to rest first.
Basically, are the guards like kind of happy to leave us be?
Yeah, Francis seems to trust you and has the seniority. And she's happy
But
to.
she knows where we're staying and stuff, right?
Yep.
If she did want to ask us to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Veda will just say to Francis, I think we need to go and rest a little because it was quite trying being stuck on the ground.
Understandable. I will let you rest.
But we are still at the Golden Grain. If you find anything, please let us know. I want to find out what has been happening here and bring him back to you for justice.
Yes. I feel like you have your own justice to serve as well, though. If you can, bring him back, dead or alive. A bounty is now out for his head.
I can work with these.
And she puts out her hand to shake it. Yours.
Shake her hand.
Okay. Her hand envelops yours, but it's firm and righteous. She says, You may be from the other side, but your honor does not falter. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I think you are more suited to lead the guards around here than he ever was anyway.
She kind of like looks down and gets a bit nervous, and she says, I will try. Kind of puts her hand on her head and she says, Right! And she starts like shouting orders at other guards who are kind of like not sure what to do, and she starts barking orders at them to go patrol things. We'll go make sure people are safe and everything. And she goes off just barking orders, and she kind of like looks back and waves at you guys.
Let's get some food and rest. And then I can see if this is magical.
I think I need another bath already.
Yeah, same. All my fur is all like singed. Yeah, head towards the Golden Grain.
As you head inside, you see Jean-Luc and Milo kind of sitting talking to each other. There's a couple of people. They seem to be in mourning, just heads down. It's quiet. A couple of people just taking long drinks. Milo sees you walk in. How are you doing? You look a bit worse for wear.
It's been a long day.
And he comes and tries to grab all of you with these dwarf arms and just gives you a hug.
Oh, hug him back. I like to think that his dwarf arms like reach over and then Fig just finishes the circle.
Yeah.
Vade'll give him like a little awkward pat on the head.
And you just see Jean-Luc with his head in his hands, just kind of looking down the ground. And he says, think everyone deserves a drink. And he starts pouring some ales.
I'll just have a chicken, thanks.
We can get that sorted soon.
I'm probably gonna go up, but you do whatever.
I'll join you up there in a bit. I'm just gonna grab some food. Being
I
a
think-
horse really takes it out of you.
I think Emily's just been kind of trailing, like slightly miserably behind, and they don't get a drink, and they don't have anything to eat, and they just go upstairs.
Okay. Jean-Luc asks Veda and Fig, is Emlyn okay?
I'm going to go and check on them in a moment.
It's been a
Yeah.
rough day. That's all.
Did you know them, the Nitwa?
Not personally, no. They were just the nobles. They luckily graced us with some time. That Lucas and his wife Renee, they came through. They were nice people. Funny, but they were not a bad bone about them.
Veda's gonna finish her drink and then she's gonna go upstairs to check on Emlyn.
So I get my food.
Okay. It takes a while to cook a chicken.
I just kind of sit at the bar of them.
Is there anything you want to converse with Jean-Luc or anything?
Have you heard anything about what happened up there? Or like, what did you see?
All I saw
Or
is
hear?
that there was a rumbling. We went outside. The place was on fire. And smoke was billowing out. Seemed very controlled and very intentional.
So there's definitely like something in there to make it worse, because that's far away to make an explosion vibrate over here.
Yes, it was very loud.
Has anyone said who it could be?
People do not know. I have my suspicions though.
Who do you think?
Well, they must have, like you said, planted something there. They must have known how to get in and out quite easily. There are very few people who can do that. There is in fact one person who can do that. It is Alexander.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the name the Obsidian Prince?
Not in a very long time.
Where did you hear it? Or do you know them?
Come with me.
Oh.
And he opens the bar. And says,
Ah. I like lean in.
and he takes you back into the kitchen. Which you see is a good number of ovens, pots and pans all over the place, and as you walk into the back, there's a little dining table, and he says, "Take a seat. Milo, close the door."
Oh god. I gotta take a seat.
How do you know this name?
We went with Alexander this morning to a place, and he tried to kill us there. And on the way in, we saw a statue of what looked like a deity, and we recognized that to be something similar to the Obsidian Prince.
Say, Obsidian Prince is not a deity of any kind.
Oh, we recognized the broken crown. Well, people remembered it from somewhere. I don't know the full details of it all.
That is what he claims to be, a prince, but he is not. He's
Do you
but a
think he was
lowlife.
Jealous of the Nitois and their, like, nobility.
I do not think so.
So why do you think he did it?
I don't think he did.
You don't think he did the explosion?
No. It might be linked to him in some way, but it was not him. The Obsidian Prince is vain and he does not want to be a part of this nobility. He wants to be his own. They call him the Prince, for he will never be a king.
So who do you know the Obsidian Prince to be?
It has been told that he's some sort of underground mob person, boss, I don't know. He leads bandits mostly, from my travels and what I've been heard.
Do you think the Obsidian Prince can maybe be an organization rather than just one person? Or do you think it is just one person?
No, it is a person.
Okay.
But Alexander is not that person. He's,
Think he could just be in cahoots with them?
I think so.
I wonder what was in it for him to do this. And to try and kill us.
It is something, of course, but I do not know. But
Would you
I've
let us know if you maybe hear anything.
I have lived a long time. Same with my husband. And we have not always had such a quaint life running a tavern. We used to be quite unsavory folk. And we have
Yeah?
had runnings with this gang, this person, the Obsidian Prince. He's always thinks himself better than us. You say that he was a deity. He's not, but a man.
Do you know where they sort of reside? This group of people, or are they all over the place?
If they have ties in Lilion, they could be anywhere.
Is there anything that shows that someone might be part of that group? Like an imagery or something like that they wear on them?
They normally have a broken crown of some kind. It always seems to be it. Like a dethroned prince or king, showing that he's some sort of noble, that he is the true ruler of some kind.
Where was it that you first heard of this guy?
In the slums in Zundaria.
So do you think if we need to find out more about this, we might go there?
You do not want to find out more about this.
But people are being hurt.
People get hurt every day.
But if we can stop some people from being hurt, then that's something.
You can try, but I know from experience that you were the only one who would get hurt.
Fig just sort of goes quiet.
As we cut upstairs to Veda and Emlyn.
What's Emlyn doing when Veda goes into the room?
I think they're like just curled up on the bed.
Okay, Veda's gonna go and like just sit on the end of the bed next to them. Emlyn, are you okay?
This is it, isn't it? You don't want to travel together anymore?
No. I understand why you would do these jobs to get money if you are in debt. I don't blame you for doing it. I don't want you to blame yourself for what happened because you are not psychic. You did not know what was going to be done with it. Although maybe you should be more careful.
Didn't you hear her? There are kids inside.
I know, but you didn't hurt them. I don't think you are a bad person.
I mean, it's not the kind of... It's not what I normally do. I mean, normally I'm just taking a necklace or something from a big fancy house like that. I mean, that and just selling it and much more straightforward. It seems like the more time that goes by, the more complicated everything gets.
I don't really know what we should do from here. But I don't want to leave you alone. Try not to blame yourself. Are the people you are in debt to, are they on the mainland or the island that you're from?
Oh, on the mainland. It's lots of different people. But I mean, I pay one account. And it's been capped at 10,000. And then the account pays all the people.
I don't know what we can do to find 10,000 gold. That is a lot of money.
It's fine. It was all settled. It's a regular amount. And I'm paying it a bit at a time. It's just for a while. I haven't been able to afford to say no when jobs come along.
It's okay, I understand. If you need extra money, I can try to help when I can.
I really
I don't have a lot either.
want
But
that. It was my fault.
I know, but it's better than getting into trouble.
Well, I don't normally get into this sort of trouble.
I don't really like nobility. I don't like the monarchy. I don't think it's right. I don't have a problem with you taking a few things here and there from people who have too much. But maybe try not to take anything too dangerous.
Well, I mean, I won't now.
Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll find a drunk old man that I can distract when he has 10,000 gold in his pockets that you could take.
Thanks, Veda.
It's okay.
I don't need anything from either of you. More than... we've already made quite a lot of money. Basically honest money from going around and helping people. And really that seems... I don't know. I feel like when I first met you, it seemed like it kind of felt like it could be a fresh start.
Well, we can try to make it that now.
It just kind of feels like I've dragged all my dirt along with me.
It's okay, everybody has their secrets.
What did you do before you were traveling around? You just playing music?
I am part of the Courtesan Guild.
It just kind of feels like you and Fig are just nice. And
I'm not that nice.
I've never seen you hurt anyone who didn't deserve it.
I try not to. I don't think you would do this either.
I try not to.
Intentionally.
That's the problem.
Do you have family back on the island you're from?
Yeah.
Are you waiting until you have paid your debts before you can go home to them?
I don't think they would want to see me. I wasn't really planning on them ever knowing about it when they did find out. Again, it's not like I was kicked off or anything. I just wasn't really welcome. It all feels a little bit hopeless sometimes. But the idea that I might one day be able to go home and everything would be the same as it was before is kind of what I'm thinking about.
I don't know if you can ever really go back. I don't mean you particularly, I just mean things change, that's not always a bad thing.
Okay, well, that's not really what I want to hear.
I know, but I don't want to lie to you. I'm sure you can still go home and be with them again, but it might not be exactly the same. Things change. People change. All you can do is try your best.
I feel like, yeah, Emlyn is comforted, but just kind of like curls up tighter into a wee ball.
Yeah. So is there anything else you guys want to accomplish for this evening?
I think after chatting to Emlyn, what time is it roughly?
Probably hitting 7, 8 at night.
Okay. I was gonna say if the bathhouse was still open, Veda might head there because she's all dusty and stuff. But if it's probably shut now, she'll just like wash up as best she can.
I think it's still open.
Okay. Veda might.
If you inquire, yeah, I can say it's probably open.
It's the same. If it's the same day, is it the same person on duty who sees Vader, who's like come out 6 hours ago, looking like beautiful, like totally clean, come back like singed, covered in dust?
Wait a minute. Yeah, probably as well.
I think she'll tell Emlyn that she's going if they want to join her.
I think I'll just stay here for a bit.
Okay, I bring you back a muffin.
Thanks. I'm genuinely comforted by the idea of getting a muffin.
So
She'll let Fig know if she sees him on the way out as well.
yeah,
Or if he might still be in talking to Jean-Luc about important plot stuff.
yeah. I think as you come out, Fig's having his chicken and enjoying it, speaking with Milo and Jean-Luc.
Fig, I'm going to go and get a bath before bed. Do you want to come?
Sounds like a good idea, but I feel like we shouldn't really leave Emlyn by themselves.
I'll go get a quick bath.
Okay.
I bring you a muffin too. A 5.
Yeah. He looks genuinely comforted by this.
Okay. Veda's just gonna go to the bathhouse and like, if the person on the desk says anything, they'll just be like, "Don't ask."
Yeah. As you are you getting a private one or?
I don't think she cares. I think she'll just go into the like public.
Okay.
Just wants to get clean. She really doesn't care right now.
Okay. Yeah, there's like it's less people here, but yeah, there's, the public space is fine. Yeah, as you have your bath and everything.
Pick up some muffins on the way out.
Yeah, just a basket of muffins.
While this is happening, Vic's gonna go upstairs
Mhm.
after he's had his food, and he's gonna like knock on the door. Himlin?
Emlyn just gives like a tiny little like hum or like a grunt, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna come in. Say, I brought you some food. If you're hungry.
It's just like half-eaten potato and nothing else.
He's not eating it. He got Emlyn some more. And a little bit extra for himself.
Emlyn is like, no, I'm not hungry. But then if the food is left there, they probably will eat a wee bit.
Fig's just gonna come and sit on the end of Emlyn's bed, probably making it just like puff up a little bit on Emlyn's side. And he's gonna put the plate next to them and just like, do you have that letter that I can look at now?
Oh, sure, yeah.
As you cast detect magic, it's not magical, just seems to be parchment.
Fig just kind of sighs and eats some more.
How big a radius is the? Is it 60 feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
What? Does Fig detect anything else? You can't say that, Sandy.
30 feet of me.
30 feet, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you don't say anything else.
I don't want to walk around. I was just gonna hand over and be like, it's not magic. I don't know what it is. It might just be a plain parchment. Which is weird. Why would you be having that hidden under your bed?
Do you think it's so he can write to the guy? Is it a guy?
Maybe I talked to Jean-Luc, and he says that he doesn't think that Alexander is the Obsidian Prince. The Obsidian Prince is someone else, and it's some sort of group of people as well. He thinks that he might be part of it, but he doesn't know why or what. So he's not the only person on this.
Like the prince is in charge, a group of criminals. That makes sense.
Yep.
Did you like know where to find them or where they're based or anything?
I asked, and he says if they're in this area, then they spread out. But he first heard of them in the slums of Zadaria.
Does Fig pass on that Jean-Luc was like, don't go looking for him?
He did say don't go looking for him. He said that if we're trying to do something good, we'll probably just get hurt.
I mean, I suppose that seems like good advice.
I guess it does, but if we don't go, then other people are gonna get hurt. Like this company group, whatever, seems really bad.
And if we knew where to go, I'd be happy to go.
Well, a couple of things point to Zandaria and the King's Entry Mire.
A lot of things seem to point to the King's Entry Mire.
Yeah, a lot of weirder stuff. Like, did we tell you that this weird dragon corpse thing that we found in the frog world was from there too?
No, you didn't tell me about the dragon in the frog world.
That was from King's Entry Mire as well.
I'm sure it was.
Dude, I like that Veda still hasn't told them that this is real.
Yep.
And every conversation happened is only between Emlyn and Fig.
The frog world is real. Does it look like they do not believe me?
Emlyn is like, I think they're like pretty plain about what they're about, and I think you can tell.
He just kind of like rolls his eyes, or like just like, yeah. Well, that was from there.
I mean, like as far as Emlyn knows, like Fig's been talking about coming from another plane.
Mm-hmm.
Fig doesn't like. There's no
I mean,
reason
I
that
feel like
Emlyn believes. Emlyn doesn't even know that there's other planes. Emlyn didn't come with you when you went to that weird place. Emlyn didn't. Oh, the weakening of the planes. They don't know anything about that.
But it's also just because like Fig knows it's all truthful and he doesn't really lie, so he's just like, why don't people believe me when I say things?
Emlyn doesn't trust anyone anymore.
Neither does Fig, apparently. So I mean, I don't know where to go next. Like, it's all just kind of crazy. Like, is it always crazy over in this place? I feel like things in the Feywild were a lot simpler. Or, well, I didn't know if they were complicated, but it seemed a lot simpler.
Well, where I grew up, things were pretty simple. Or at least they followed the same patterns, so you kind of knew where you were. But honestly, I can't say that. I mean, I don't normally do things like, saving people, and I haven't been somewhere where house is exploded or anything like that.
I've never done it either, but it feels like saving people and helping people is the right thing to do. I know if I was in trouble, I'd want help.
I think Emlyn is like maybe a bit. I think the more that Fig just sort of expresses that he's like really nice and he just wants to help people, the more Emlyn like feels bad about themselves.
Damn it.
And well, I just think
No,
that
I
like,
know, but I don't want them to be sad.
you know, I think they just feel like Vader is very like accomplished and can kind of do whatever she wants. He's really, really nice, and they're just
The group's trash bandit.
yeah, you know, yeah, a trash bandit. Like get a bit more grumpy at the mention of this and kind of curl up and pretend that they're not going to eat the food. I think I need to go to bed.
Okay, well, have something to eat. You shouldn't go to bed on an empty stomach. I'm gonna go sit on the balcony
Okay.
and eat food.
Probably this time, Veda, you kind of come back after an hour or so.
Yeah, I should have come in and be like, I got a few muffins because Big is here, so you can pick first which kind you want before I give the rest to him.
Emlyn sadly takes a muffin. It's not the biggest one, but it's not the smallest one either.
Okay, yeah. Vader's just gonna be like, Vic, I brought some muffins back. Here you
His
go.
little ears are just like up. He's like, oh, thank you. Do you want one?
No, I'm fine, thank you. I
He's
ate
just
one
gonna
on the way over.
He's just gonna start chowing down on those muffins.
Okay. As our adventurers now sit, eat muffins, and rest, having a pretty harrowing day, it cuts away to an open road
Don't trust your cuts.
with Alexander on the back of a nice brown horse with a little diamond on the top. Kind of pats its side. The camera pans up to this hulking, red-skinned man with a large great sword on his back and a troop of 20 to 30 people all riding. They seem to be escorting a caravan of some kind. They seem to be heading towards the mountains, and Alexander looks towards this red man and says, "It will be coming soon. We must get prepared." He takes out this small monocle looking thing, kind of holds it up to the sky. He says, "This shall be interesting." And that's where we're going to end tonight.
He was riding caramel!
I forgot about the monocle looking thing. Whoops.
What do you mean the monocle looking thing? Did you steal that as well?
Yeah, but like Emma didn't tell you. Emma didn't remember to tell you, so